This is the Apple iPhone 12 mini. It's the same as the iPhone 12, but small, tiny, cute. With this size comes portability and ease of use. But it also has a couple of drawbacks. For example, a small battery. Everyone's wondering, can that 2227 mAh cell actually last you a day when using the smartphone normally? So I thought for this review I'd actually make a conscious effort to document a full day of usage with the iPhone 12 mini and see how it performs.
Good morning, it's almost 9 a.m. on a Saturday. The iPhone 12 mini here is at 100% battery and we've got a long day ahead of us. Me and this guy, we're starting it off with a training session. It's out of town, so we've got about 20 minutes drive. I'm gonna be using the GPS of the iPhone mini and we're gonna see how this thing performs throughout the day and if the battery is going to last me a full day.
I set the coordinates in Google Maps and headed out to the training place. I had to make a pit stop for gas and the trip took us about 21 minutes. I would like to point out that I mostly kept the screen off and was listening to audio notifications. I only turned it on to record a few clips of the navigation itself. All of that cost me 8% of battery. We did a few ball retrieves to burn off some of that extra energy before going inside the fenced area. Notice how the iPhone is calibrating its colors while recording. I can't say that I am a fan of this. If you're going to start cold, keep it cold. Anyway, we were ready for group training. Moving around and taking photos and clips with the tiny iPhone 12 mini was a breeze. Even when one hand was busy handling my dog, I was still able to comfortably navigate the iPhone and point the camera wherever I desired, which is certainly appreciated. Being able to just put it away in absolutely any pocket was also convenient.
So it is 10:30, training is over. I've made some clips, I've made some videos, shared them to my stories, I send them to friends which I've been training with right now, and the iPhone 12 mini is at 79%. It is 10:40-ish right now, so not very promising for the rest of the day. It is kind of cold out here, so maybe that's a factor. We'll see how it turns out. Let's keep going.
After the training session, we took a nice stroll around the area to let Dino stretch his legs and also work towards closing my Apple Watch rings. Notice the smooth stabilization in these clips. There's still some auto exposure flickering, but this could be caused by the stabilization trying to correct small tremors in my camera handling. It was very windy out there. Just listen to the audio in the clips.
Hey dude! Okay, I've made some tea to warm myself up. I've got a few minutes to spare before I head out again, so it's a good time to check out all of the photos and all of the clips I took in morning training, sort through them, see what's good for social media, what's not, and then keep on going. It is 12 o'clock exactly, and the iPhone has 64% battery left. We'll see how this goes. I have to say, the small screen may be convenient and all, but when it comes to actually viewing pictures and trying to pick the best one, it is so hard. Everything is so tiny. I constantly have to pitch in, zoom in, squint my eyes. And of course, I don't have a telephoto camera here, so all of the portraits are wide angle. I'm not really a fan of wide angle portraits, but to each his own, I suppose. It also looks kind of fake. Look at the bokeh in the background. I don't know, it's not convincing to me. That's a bit more realistic, I suppose. Maybe some more colors. It was a really cloudy and gloomy day, so at least on the iPhone's display, I like how this looks. We'll see it on a computer screen later. But man, this display is so tiny.
Okay, so that was my day up until noon. I had about an hour to catch a breather, so here are my quick thoughts on the iPhone 12 mini. I really love the small form factor when it comes to just quickly pulling the phone out of your pocket, doing your thing and putting it back down. It looks gorgeous at that size. In my written review, I complained that the camera module looks a bit goofy on such a small phone, but in a few days it actually grew on me. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Look, the small screen is definitely not for somebody who uses their smartphone a lot. It's definitely not for me for sure. I could barely thumb type on it to save my life. It feels cramped and awkward. Yeah, I know that this is how small smartphones used to be, but now that we have the big 5-6 inch screens, there's no way I'm going back to this. Secondly, it's just so hard to make out content on it. You know how some social media doesn't let you zoom in on photos and clips? Yeah, well, good luck trying to make out faces or details in Facebook stories. Otherwise, the iPhone 12 mini is a really solid iPhone experience. Even the speakers. I was kind of worried that since it's so tiny, it might sound tinny. Now, yes, they do sound weaker, but they are definitely detailed and much fuller sounding than the size of this munchkin suggests. Now, let's check out some more pictures of doggos. It was time to meet a few people and their dogs. The iPhone 12 mini's camera did predictably well to document these moments for me. Sharp details, vibrant colors and great dynamics. At one point I saw this beautiful multicolored autumn scenery and felt compelled to capture it. I have to say, I am pleased with the phone's performance, I just wish I was closer to the trees. What you do not see on these photos is that I also had a few chats going and a couple of phone conversations, so that's why there's kind of a huge battery drop here.
Oh, home sweet home. So it's around 3:30. I've got 38% battery left with slightly more than 3 hours of screen on time. So what's gonna happen now is, first of all, I'm gonna grab a bite because I forgot to eat today, oops. Then I'm gonna hook up the iPhone 12 mini to a Bluetooth speaker, blast some of my favorite music and do some chores around the house for maybe an hour and a half or so. So see you in a bit. I am bushed. It is 5:30, I've got 22% battery. I don't know about the iPhone, but my battery is definitely running out. Anyway, I still have a few things to do, but since I finally cleaned the dust off my shelves, let me show you something.
Now that the sun was down, I could take a few indoors pictures with artificial lighting. For the most part, the ones on the main cameras from the back are great. No blurriness, lots of details and popping colors. My only gripe is that they could have been slightly warmer. My living room does have cold light, but not that cold. Taking selfies that are not blurry in these conditions is a bit of a challenge since the lighting is not perfect, the shutter has to stay open for longer, and we don't have any optical image stabilization on the selfie camera, so it's easy to get blurry selfies.
And just like that, as I was taking these few photos, the phone fell below 20% and we are right now in low power mode territory. It is now 20 minutes to 6. Keep going. Side note, the phone is still playing music through the Bluetooth speaker right there. So that is also probably draining the battery, but keep going. On and on and on.
It was now evening, 6 p.m. on a winter night, and I still had a couple of things to do before I could call it a day.
Well, I gotta go check on my parents and I still haven't closed the green ring on my Apple Watch. Thankfully, the Apple Watch does support skating as an exercise. Let's check out the stabilization of this camera, eh? So it is 7 p.m. I've just come back from my parents. They were very interested in checking out the Mini, so we spent a lot of time with the screen on and the battery is now down to 9%. What's left on the agenda? I'm gonna take this guy out for a walk. Hey guy. We're gonna take a few night shots, hopefully the battery lasts, and then we're done. See you later.
As you probably know, iPhones now have a night mode which allows you to take photos with lots of color and detail even in the dark. What's new for the iPhone 12 series is that you can now take night mode shots with all the cameras, the normal, the ultra-wide and the selfie cam. You can see here that the ultra-wide camera is still very soft in night mode, but it just can't help it. It has a smaller sensor and a smaller aperture. The selfie camera, however, takes fantastic night selfies, as you can see here.
Well, dudes and dudettes, we made it. It is 8 p.m. and we have 5% of battery left. So it's not amazing, but yeah, technically I made it through a day with, average smartphone usage, the way the average person would use it. I was still a bit paranoid about the percentages, and I do still have some thoughts and concerns. To relay those thoughts, let's go to press in my head. The studio, cut to studio footage.
So what did we just prove? Yeah, the iPhone 12 mini can technically last you a day. If you take a look at my battery report for Saturday, the biggest drains on my battery were the camera and Google Maps. The latter I used a total of 40 minutes for navigation. Arguably though, not many people use their phone for GPS navigation every day, and not everybody takes 126 photos, clips and screen recordings throughout the day unless they're a vlogger. The point I'm trying to make here is that yeah, I did cut it close at the end there, but that's mostly because I was putting the iPhone 12 mini through a lot. Look, if you're a power user, this phone is not for you, but technically speaking, a power user is not interested in a phone with such a small screen in the first place, right? Now, for comparison's sake, on the next day I was also quite active, but since I didn't simulate GPS activity and I didn't take a bunch of pictures and screen recordings for a review, I actually ended up having about 40% of battery at 8:30 p.m, which is very good. But I do have some concerns about this small 2227 mAh battery. Like, it's okay now, right? But what happens when the battery health drops to 95%? What happens when it goes down to 90% of capacity? Which will happen within a couple of years, especially if you use wireless charging, as it tends to warm up the iPhone 12 mini a lot. Are we about to have another iPhone 6 type scandal where the battery was just not enough to cope with the powerful processor? And yes, the A14 Bionic here is a powerful processor. I'm no oracle, but I am slightly concerned about that. Otherwise, right here, right now, it's got an okay battery life. It's got a fantastic design. It's a very pretty lifestyle accessory to have. It has a very beautiful screen despite it being small. It's powerful, it's quick, its cameras are really nice. It's a good phone. I like it. I understand why a lot of people are lusting after it. It's not for me. I like the bigger ones a bit better. And that's it from me. Did you like this new format of a review? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.